Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian at the Navy League's annual Sea-Air-Space Conference and Trade Show in National Harbor, Maryland, right outside Washington, D.C. And we have with us Rear Admiral Nils Wang, who is the Commandant of the Royal Danish War College and the former commander of the Royal Danish Navy. Sir, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So you were obviously on a panel discussion of international Navy chiefs, but tell us a little bit about what else you're trying to accomplish in this visit to Washington.
I'm trying to look what is going on here at this great event and creating some network, and then of course I'm invited to participate in a panel on security policy.
One of the things that has drawn the attention of a lot of American Navy circles, and full disclosure, I've been a big fan of both Ivar Huitfeldt and the Absalon class ships that you guys have, the flexible support ship, but also the frigate. And there are some folks in the U.S. side who have also been sort of interested in this sort of novel approach you guys have. What are some of the lessons from both the ship side of both on the ships, but also your rotating crew manning system that you guys think could be a model for other navies as they seek on the small surface combatant side of the picture to deliver greater effects at greater efficiency?
First of all, I think that when you are procuring your ships, you should be very careful that it is a kind of design-to-cost project, so that industry and Navy is actually agreeing upon that this is a fixed price, and we need to achieve that goal, the economic goal, together, so that it doesn't, so the budget is not just overdrawn all the time. I think that's very important. It's also very important to lock the design phase at a certain point, so you just can't keep on coming with new desires, because the last 5% of your desiring list is very, very expensive, especially if it comes after the ship is basically starting to be built. Then when it comes to the ideas in the Danish ship design about modularity, that actually gives you the opportunity to have all your values vested in the expensive modules. So when the ship comes to end of a lifetime, you still have updated modules in form of weapon systems and weapon overhead systems, and that means that you can actually transfer them to a new ship class. So you just get rid of the old outworn hull, and then you have all the expensive equipment to reuse, because they have been updated frequently. So that's another part of it.
And on what's the key to making that rotating crew concept a success? Because the U.S. has tried it. It hasn't been as successful, obviously very successful on the ballistic missile submarines. But what's the key from your standpoint as a warfighter to make sure that this crew swap concept works smoothly?
I think that it has taken a lot of years to get where we are today. There is a lot of friction that has to be overcome, but it is predominantly a matter of culture and thinking more than it is a matter of hardware. So if you are actually rotating into the same class of ships, and if you agree on certain standards in between same class of ships, so that you know where the tools are in the drawers and in the closets and all the rest of it, then it can actually be done, and then you have to kind of build up to be proud of the ship class more than be proud of a specific name.
And let me take you to the Arctic. Obviously, Denmark is one of the most important Arctic nations in the world, Greenland being a close associate of a part of the nation. Talk to us a little bit about the dynamic situation from a Danish perspective, what you guys see up there, what are the security challenges, and what does not just Denmark but the international community have to do about it?
I think that you have to realize that Russia is having a genuine interest in actually having a stable development in the Arctic, because they need long-term investments in order to unfold their full potential up there, because all their resources is in their exclusive economical zone. Having said that, it is also obvious that you cannot isolate the Arctic from what is going on all other places. So I think maybe that NATO should start thinking about being present in the Arctic again, but in a way so that you don't kind of push it into a self-fulfilling prophecy that it would be a region of conflict, but maybe start to look into the ice-free part of the Arctic around Iceland and Faroe Islands and Norway to start monitoring what is going on there. I think that is the way to do it in order not to push it too far from the beginning.
And from a climate change perspective, obviously, the current American administration is, I think, safe to say, more skeptical about climate change than the last administration. But from, as a mariner in that part of the world throughout your career, what are the changes that you've seen, and how serious of a challenge does that pose, both for communities, for sea trade, and for security?
Well, it's a development that actually creates both opportunities and challenges at the same time, and I think what is needed is also to exploit the opportunities. I can see that the ice is actually retracting from the area, creating a lot of problems, but also creating a lot of opportunities. For example, that you can start to actually have a more systematical sea transportation going in that part of the world that you have seen hitherto, but also exploiting the resources in the area if that's what you actually intend to do, and then you can actually start also to have economical interest in the region, which also could be very beneficial for the people that actually lives up there.
Sir, thanks very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.